welcome to our next episode of World Stage. Today we are here with the Ambassador of Ecuador to India in New Delhi, Hector Cueva. He's now been in India for over 7 years. And he was first the Consul General based out of Mumbai. Now he's based in Delhi. And what he described to me kind of really tweaked my interest. He said, we've changed our strategy towards India. The way Ecuador has looked at India, that whole concept's dramatically changed. And we want to get a sense from him what really has changed on the ground that has made Ecuador change its strategy towards India. So, Hector, from your perspective, what are the changes you see in the last 6-7 years you've been here?
Thank you, Rohit, for the interview. And for me, it's a big chance to talk with you, to talk India, about what are the changes, what are the perspectives of India that can offer to our country, to our Latin America. India has changed in the last 5 years. It's a lot of things. We were discussing with the apps, with the Uber, with the Olaka, it has changed a lot. So this is the X-ray of what India is offering to the world. Is offering technology, is offering options, is offering apps. So this is the perspective that Ecuador is watching to India. Why India is so changing so much. So we are, as ambassador, me as ambassador here in India, I am a guest of your country. So of course you have a challenging things, you have some problems. But I think my duty is not to come and to see your problems. My duty is come here and see what is the best that you have here in India to offer my country, to offer Latin America.
And what is that? What do you think India can offer to your country?
I want to define 5 sectors, 5 industries, 5 areas. One is the healthcare. Hepatitis C treatment in Ecuador costs around $50,000 US. In US costs around $1 lakh US. And the same treatment here in India costs $4,500. And these medicines are not under patent. So the question is why Ecuador is paying so much money for the same treatment. So the healthcare, the medicines, is one of the gifts that India can offer to our countries.
But India did, right? In 2016, India did have an innovation center and it did offer $1 million medicines to...
Yes, but we are talking about a long-term relationship. We are talking about a real revolution in the healthcare, a real revolution in the medicines. So we need to define and we need to find how to do it. Because now it becomes very difficult, the Indian companies, to go to Latin America, to Ecuador, because they have a lot of barriers. India can offer a real medicines. I want to specify something that is very important. Pharmaceutical companies to do this, because we need guarantee to do this step, right? So this is our duty to find a way how to bring the medicines to my country, because one of the dreams that my president has, Lenin Moreno has, is to cover to all 100% of the population in my country. But you cannot do it with if you have the budget, paying the medicines to the multinational companies. You need to do few things.
No, India and Ecuador have done business before. But
yes.
There have also been challenges. For example, India, HAL, India's public sector company, sold helicopters to Ecuador. Mm-hmm. And then they ran into trouble. There were accidents. 2 of them had mechanical failure. And that's when the contract kind of broke. HAL said that those helicopters had not been serviced after their warranty period. So explain to me, where does the relationship between Ecuador and India in terms of, expanding our defense ties stand?
Defense is a little bit difficult duty, and it's a very tricky question, because every country has his own reason. The talking between the governments is there, the Ministry of Defense is there. So they need to find a solution. Finding the solution is going to open more gates, right? If we are stuck only in this problem, we are going to be stuck. Because now the vision of Ecuador wants to be the gateway of India in all the industries, not only defense. It's all on the industries. You have the pharmaceutical, you have the healthcare, you have agriculture. The agriculture is fantastic. What are you doing here in India? The production of the productivity per hectare, per season, here in Jalgaon sector, in Maharashtra, is 2.5 times more than the hectare in Ecuador. So we need to pass. So that is the thing that we need to find solution for both sides.
Is there a trust?
Exactly? We need to trust. Yes, we need to trust each other.
And I'm not saying you need to trust. I'm saying, is there trust today? Is there trust if, earlier if they did business and it fell through, how will trust get re-established between Ecuador and India?
Because we need to trust. We need to find solution to that. We need to find solution, and the solution is coming soon, I hope. It needs to come soon.
Ecuador is very much like India, if I may say so. The inequalities are extreme, very rich and very poor. We have a large agrarian economy as well, which kind of is still faltering, if I may say so. Explain to us, when you look at India from your perspective, what are the areas that you think that they can partner in to alleviate people out of the poverty that sits in both countries?
I can talk about 4 industries. One is healthcare, that I mentioned before. The possibility to get affordable and with guaranteed medicines is there. We need to find a solution. We need to find, and we need to build a bridge between our countries to define, what is the way to provide the medicines of India to Ecuador. That's the first thing. So you have a healthy people. The second thing is agriculture. Agriculture, you have the technology. The biggest company of irrigation systems is here in India. Your managing of the water is fantastic. Here during 3 months of the year you have the monsoon, and in the north you don't have 3 months. Maybe you have 1 or 1.5 month of on monsoon. How are you dealing? How are you managing the water? So we need to learn this. This is technology. This is adaptable, acceptable, adoptable, affordable technology. Normally in Latin American countries, we used to think about the technology needs to come from USA, Canada, from Europe, from Japan, from Korea, and maybe from China. India is never in our radar. Why? That's the question. I tell you why. Because Latin America doesn't know too much about India. We see some documentaries in the Discovery Channel, in the National Geographic, but it's not fair for India, because normally the people in my country, they don't know what India can offer to our countries. Technology in the healthcare, technology in agriculture, technology in IT. The best and the biggest company of software are here based in India.
Why hasn't Ecuador been able to ship oil to a country like India, which is such a large importer of oil? What's been the missing link?
We have some before deals with other countries. Yes, so that's a deal. We have some commitment with other countries, and yes, but the trade is increasing. We are the number 1 provider of teak. We are number 1 provider of cocoa beans. In cocoa beans in 2013, we didn't export 1 bean to India. Now we are the main provider of cocoa beans here in India. We have the teak, we have the wood, we have immortalized rose. So the new products are coming. So the oil is, we have a previous commitment with other companies, with other countries.
Ecuador has a big challenge on its own borders as well, obviously. With Colombia, for example, I think there have been tremendous amount of conflict there, and it's got challenges. When India looks at a relationship with Ecuador, does India need to be worried about that?
About what?
About challenges Ecuador has locally with Colombia or with its border areas.
Ecuador means equator. Equator means balance, right? Usually we used to give us a name. Ecuador is an island of peace. We don't face any problem with Colombia, of course. We have some groups that in Colombia are there, of course are there. But this is not a problem of Ecuador, it's a problem of some gangs that they are there, right? So we need to deal with that. And the government is dealing with that. Now the north sector is becoming more and more secure, and also the government is trying to help the farmers there. So we are providing new options of life, and we are creating in the future with India. We want to create like healing villages. Why healing villages? We want to provide solar power, we want to provide clean water, we want to provide technology in agriculture, technology in education, So this is the partnership that we need to deal with India.
So you said India should take Ecuador as its gateway to Latin America.
Exactly.
When you say that, what are you saying that Ecuador is capable of offering which the other countries in Latin America can't?
We are a believer of India. We are 3 countries that we had a consulate in Mumbai. One is Argentina, Brazil, and Ecuador, right? Brazil, because they have to be there, because they are part of the BRICS. Then you have Argentina, because they have to be there. But the people in Mumbai, they used to ask me, okay, why Ecuador is here? Because we believe in India. We believe in the relationship between India and Ecuador. That is the thing. And we are true believer because we are going to open now the trade office in Mumbai. Because we believe on that. But we believe more than the exchange of products and services, we believe of the exchange of knowledge, the exchange of the technology. And we want to do this, we want to accept this from India. Because you are like a big brother. The big brother has more experience. We need to learn from the big brother, right? This is the idea. Because, here in India, you have all the solutions, but sometimes you don't face that you have the solutions. But because you have too many people, India is huge. But after these 5 years and a half, 6 years, I can tell you that India has all the solutions for Latin American countries, for Ecuador, in all the areas that we were discussing. Everything. So that's very nice because this is why we are creating a new perspective of our relationships.
All right. I hope that India and Ecuador can partner and get along and go ahead in the future. And I think it's going to be, India's got its own problems, but it's a large country, and I think there are certainly synergies that they could develop. Thank you for joining me for the show.
Thank you.
Hector.
Thank you.
And this is World Stage, and what we have in front of us is an opportunity out of India, looking at Ecuador and other Latin American countries as we move forward. Thank you for joining for World Stage, and see you next week.